Okay, I found the instructions and they are in a file called BU Undergraduate Instructions. So what I'm going to do now is put a announcement on Canvas with this as an attachment. Okay. I thought that I had done that at the beginning of the semester because it's one of the things I usually load right away, but apparently they got past me this time. So anybody have questions, comments before we get started in the PowerPoint? Everybody survived the storms okay?
When do we have to take that test?
Um,
I think I logged on a little late, so I didn't catch it.
okay. I'm going to share screen and get my calendar up.
I believe we have until the 24th, but I'm not sure.
Canvas was saying that it was due today.
Yes. So here is the final schedule, and it was supposed to have been due today, and you have until April 24th to submit it. And the final grades for this class are due on April 30th. So I need to have it then in order to compile and process the orders and record the compile and process the reports, and then compile the grades, figure out the curve, and then record the grades. So
How long does it take to take the test?
I'm going to guess it's about 2 hours. That seems to be, sometimes students do it in significantly less time. I had one student who spent 3 minutes on it, but then he got everything wrong. So I think he just opened it up and then closed it. That didn't help his grade. So I don't remember anyone ever taking longer than 2 hours, 15 minutes.
Do we know, I'm sorry, do we know how many questions are there on the test?
You know, I don't know how many questions there are. I only know how many topics there are. And I announced that list. Let's see. "23 topics." So I can't remember if I emailed that as an attachment or if I put it as a Canvas announcement, but I did that was it last week or the week before?
I think we got an email last week, I think.
Okay.
I think we got it, yes.
And some of them are for topics that we have that Peregrine didn't have a test bank for. And so there are our own questions that we gave to them. Others are from their general test bank that different universities use. So our questions come from accounting ethics. They didn't have any for that. Computerized accounting. Business tax, because they didn't have any questions about partnerships, only corporations. Some of our own questions for individual tax. Ones down here, you can see what I'm highlighting there on the spreadsheet. That comes from their test bank. And let's see. Yeah, most of the questions come from their own test bank, which that means that not everybody's going to get the same question when you take the test as your classmates, because they randomly select questions from their test bank. And that test bank is continually having questions added and deleted, not a whole bunch at a time, but from one month to the next, it's not going to be the same questions. And so what they're going to do is they're going to give me a report that tells your absolute score, how many correct you got as a percentage, and then how that compares with other accounting majors around the country and around the world. And that puts you then, like, if it said you were 75th percentile, that means that you did better than 75% of the students who took the test, but 25% who took it did better than you. If you understand what I'm saying there. Okay, so any other questions about it?
Yes, sir. Regarding the email that you sent us this morning, I'm trying to click on it, but nothing is happening.
I didn't send an email this morning.
Well, it was regarding instructions on how to access the test. Let's see if I can pull it up.
I put that as an announcement on Canvas.
Oh, it was an announcement? Okay, I'm sorry. Oh, I see. I'm sorry.
Okay. So let me open up Canvas. Don't know what happened. It just flipped to quizzes for some reason. I don't know what I clicked on. Announcements. Access the Peregrine test. And here's the attachment. And does anybody have problems opening PDFs? Because if you do, then I could send the link by email.
I just opened it. I had no problems.
Okay, good. All right then. Then let's go to the PowerPoint and cover the next topic, which is advice for new accounting students. Or that was the last one, advice for new accounting professionals. And this section in Unit 8 comes primarily from the Jeffers and Picolic textbook. And their first advice for the new accounting professional who's out on his or her first job is to be especially careful in one's first engagements, to uphold the highest and most strict standard of professionalism. And the reason for that is because your behavior on your first engagements will do much to determine the future path of your career. And they went on to explain that this is when you will begin to develop your own business character and your future reputation in the eyes of your clients and colleagues. Nobody wants a bookkeeper who can get the books to almost balance. Similarly, nobody wants to hire an auditor or accountant whose accounting skills are weak. This relates to the verse previously discussed that said, whatever you do, do it all for the glory of God. Think of it this way. The honorable good provided by the accounting profession is trust in the financial statements. Trust cannot be provided by someone who is incompetent, sloppy, careless, or a slacker. The second tip is to be scrupulous in honesty about unseen things, unchecked things, and small things. This is related to the first suggestion, of course, but let's apply this one to the idea of reputation. They continued, the size of the offense is irrelevant because of the incommensurably high nature of the good that accountants provide. The Bible teaches us to be honorable and to have a good reputation, although not to take pride in our reputation or in anything else. This relates obviously to the point previously made from Luke 16:10. If you are faithful in little things, you will be faithful in large ones. But if you're dishonest in little things, you won't be honest with greater responsibilities. Proverbs 22:1, a good name is to be chosen rather than great riches, and favor is better than silver or gold. Proverbs 20:11, even a child makes himself known by his acts, by whether his conduct is pure and upright. Now, here's a parallel in church leadership that I want to see how, I want you to think about how it's going to apply to the workplace. To qualify for church leadership in the office of overseer, and the Greek word is episkopos. So epi means over, and skopes, that's where we get telescope, or to scope out someone. So it means look. So it literally means overseer or overlooker. Various denominations interpret this word either as bishop, overseer, pastor, or elder. And bishop, that word is how English-speaking people butchered the Greek pronunciation. So they turned the SK into an SH, kept the OP, dropped off the end of ES, and left off the first syllable, and the P became a B. So it's the same word, but garbled over 1,000 years of mispronunciation. And in 1 Timothy 3:2, it says that this person in the church office must be above. That's wrong. It's not supposed to be approach. It's supposed to be reproach. Which above reproach means that the person is above any kind of criticism because there's nothing you can criticize in the person. And respectable, and he must be well thought of by outsiders. And isn't that kind of the way you want people to think about you on the job? So think of it this way. The honorable good provided by the accounting profession is trust in the financial statements. Trust cannot be provided by someone who has a bad reputation. Next point, point 3, any questions or comments before we move on to that? Okay. If you recall when it was talking about accounting students, it said they should seek a mentor, but that's a good idea not only while one is in school, but also on the job. Identify senior accountants and partners in your firm whose commitment to professional standards you admire and seek them out as mentors. This is because of the importance of imitation for acquiring virtues of character, which is a biblical concept. Philippians 4:9, keep putting into practice all you learned and received from me, everything you heard from me and saw me doing. Then the God of peace will be with you. Why a mentor? A mentor has seen it all and can provide advice coming from experience. A warning, if there's nobody admirable in your firm, perhaps you should consider looking for another position. How many of you went to the meetings they had for the career boot camp where they had former students come back and talk about their experience getting their first jobs? Did anybody attend that? Yeah, I remember the accounting major, Walker Martin, and he really took this seriously when he was choosing which accounting firm he wanted to work at. And because of that, he chose, oh, now the name's not coming to me, Horn CPA firm, because they have high integrity. They base their firm's practice on biblical principles. They don't want to overwork employees because they think they need to have a life with their families and so on. And so he thought that the people in that firm were admirable, and that's why he wanted to work there. Part 4, questions or comments before we move on to that? Be part of a team. Find fellow practitioners at roughly your same level in the firm whose commitment to professional standards you admire and befriend them. A friend is always loyal, and a brother is born to help in time of need. Proverbs 17:17. Ecclesiastes 4:9 through 12. 2 people are better off than one, for they can help each other succeed. If one person falls, the other can reach out and help. but someone who falls alone is in real trouble. Likewise, two people lying close together can keep each other warm. But how can one be warm alone? A person standing alone can be attacked and defeated, but two can stand back to back and conquer. Three are even better, for a triple braided cord is not easily broken. Why? Friendship can be a school of virtue, and friends can create a worldview that is unchangeable by outside pressures. With strong friends that you can trust on the job, it will be easier to stand up for what is right if you have to. Fifth idea of advice they had for new accounting professionals: read. As part of your professional development, draw up a good list of books on ethics and the meaning of life and make steady progress in reading them. So that would include the CPE courses that are required to maintain one's CPA license if you go into public accounting. But I would recommend reading books and articles on accounting ethics, articles about the changes in GAAP so that you keep up with the profession. Read the Bible and read devotional and philosophical literature. It might be a good idea to have a Bible study with your colleagues at work. As Jefferson Picolic put it, growth in professionalism is a lifelong struggle, and growth requires constant improvement in knowledge. One of the things that brought that across to me recently was when we had to take the traditional classes online. We had been required by the university to post all of our files and grades and so on Canvas for a couple of years now. But there were some older faculty members that had never really learned how to do it and were resisting. And now it's kind of biting them in the rear because they are so far behind in learning what they have to do for online that they really had to get a lot of help. So you need to keep up with technology as well. Daily Bible reading and prayer is essential for Christian growth. Some Bible passages that indicate this are, I have hidden your word in my heart that I might not sin against you. I will study your commandments and reflect on your ways. Turn my eyes from worthless things and give me life through your word. Your word is a lamp to guide my feet and a light for my path. Number 6, be committed to the profession. Cherish a high opinion of your calling and communicate that to others in speech and through actions. Jefferson Picolic related this to the concept of unity of life. Unity of life means that virtue can't be compartmentalized. Be virtuous in your professional and in your personal life. For accountants, unity of life requires a strong commitment to one's profession. What do we call a person who is holy on Sunday morning and sins the rest of the week? A hypocrite. The word hypocrite comes from a Greek word used for stage actors, because when they would come onto the stage for their part, they'd wear a mask that showed their character. And so the idea of hypocrite is that the real you is hidden behind a mask. They also used masks in Chinese opera. And sometimes they'd have one person do several parts. So they had these trick masks that they push a button and it flips and becomes a different character. Don't know how it worked, but they sell little masks like that as toys and souvenirs. Advice for new accounting professionals, continuing unity of life. One must, however, balance one's personal and professional lives. No one on his or her deathbed ever said to his or her family, gee, I wish I'd spent more time at the office. Now, actually, maybe there was some family that was so dysfunctional and nasty that someone actually did say that, but that's not the normal situation. Your life is not about your work. Okay, so we have 14 more slides. Next topic is seasoned practitioners, and I'm pretty sure we can begin on that on Friday and still have plenty of time for the end of the semester. I think we're doing well as far as the lectures are concerned. So I think we can get out early. And do you have questions or comments about anything else? Okay, when I checked the other day, there'd only been 2 or 3 submissions of the worldview essay, but I didn't check since yesterday noon at least, because I was writing more quizzes. So it was a little worrisome to me that so many people had not yet submitted it. So if you need time to catch up,
I'm almost done with mine, so you'll have it either by tonight or like tomorrow.
Okay, good, good.
Oh, Mr. Goldsmith.
Yes.
What's the alumni Facebook group thing about?
What's the what?
The alumni Facebook group thing on campus?
Oh, let me show you. Let's see, I'll open up. Okay, let me go back to share screen. And share. Okay, so this is my own Facebook page. And this is a closed group, that is that you have to be approved by the what do you call it? The people that are in charge of it, of a Facebook page, administrators. And on this page, I have announcements that I make. If someone gets a new job, I congratulate them on this page. And the other friends they had from college will know about it. If there's a job opening, then I announce it on this page. If someone passes the CPA exam, we congratulate them on this page, and so on. So in order to go there, you have to request to become a member of it. Now, some people don't want to be on Facebook because they're concerned about security and privacy. If that's the case, email me and I will waive you from the assignment. Otherwise,
page.
Pardon?
We just have to follow that page.
No, you can't follow it. You have to join it.
That's what I mean.
Okay, yeah. So you put a request to join it and I approve it. That's how you get the credit for this assignment. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So probably take just a few minutes for you to do that. And it's really actually connected to, there we go, Tasha's asking. I'm going to wait on those until I have the grade sheet open on Canvas before I approve your membership. That way, I'll make sure to record the grade at the same time. And I think I'll wait a day because then I can probably do a bunch of people at one time and save myself some time. So what else do I put on there? Well, I put this one here to let alumni know what Belhaven was doing about the coronavirus. There we go, Hunter's asking. So here is one announcement about a job. And previously, I congratulated Hunter Sanford. He was on the Belhaven website for something he did in baseball. I can't remember what. And let's see, February 7th, 2 job openings for accounting. Oh, one was a job opening, one was for an intern. January 30th, opening for accountant in Yazoo City, and so on and so on. Oh, that's something too.
Do you usually just post about the Jackson area, or is it?
Those are the ones I find out about. So if you want to, you're from what, Monroe, Louisiana, right?
Baton Rouge.
Baton Rouge. Oh, okay. So I usually don't get information out of state. So the other assignment was to connect to me on LinkedIn. And LinkedIn is the sort of Facebook for business professionals and careers. And on there, you can daily check for job openings. Unfortunately, y'all that are graduating in May, this is not the worst time ever to graduate, but it's probably pretty well up there because of what's going on in the economy with so many things being closed down. But to encourage you, I think that before this shutdown started, the economy was in actually a pretty good state. And so I'm hopeful that it's not going to take too long to recover once things are opening back up again. There'll be some disruptions for a while because I think some small businesses might have had to permanently close. Probably some colleges had to close forever because I heard stories that in some universities, the unionized faculty refused to teach online. So they had to give back all the tuition money for the whole semester to the students, and now they're bankrupt. So unless they have a huge bunch of tax money from if they're a state university, I don't know how they'd be able to cope with that. Belhaven's in much better shape. Roger Parrott gave us a list that I didn't memorize of all the unusual things that happened at Belhaven just before this started that put us in a better position to survive this than most universities. But starting with, we'd been online a lot longer than most universities had and knew how to do it. All right, then if there's no other questions. Okay, then I'll see you again on Friday. Take care.
I'm Mr. Goldsmith.
Bye
Thank
now.
you.
Thank you.
Sure, bye.